Hello everyone and welcome to a video I did not think I'd be making anytime soon. It's former World Chess Championship challenger Fabiano Caruana versus the first ever chess playing car, as far as I know, Tesla Model 3. And before we check out the game, I would just like to mention that this game is also available on Fabiano Caruana's YouTube channel. I also did not know he had one. So far he had only one video on it, but I will put a link in the description below with this exact game being played, so you can watch it firsthand if you also want to check that out. And also I will have two very important announcements at the end of this video, so don't miss out on that. Now getting back to the game, Caruana versus Car, Fabi opens with e4 and Tesla replies with the g6, the modern defense. With d4, d6, and now knight to c3. And Tesla goes, now transposes into the main line of the Pirc defense. With f4, Fabi does not hesitate to go for the Austrian attack, and the bishop to g7. Tesla fianchettos the dark square bishop, knight to f3, and now Tesla just castles. And for those of you who are wondering which engine is Tesla running, not the one that actually makes the car go, but the one that runs the chess, I have no idea, but we are going to revisit this question after we check out the game. And Fabi immediately goes for e5. So now the main idea is knight d7, and as you will see if you watch Fabi's video, he was very surprised when Tesla decided to capture on e5, as practice has shown, and also engines confirm that this doesn't really give black anything. With f captures on e5 now, threatening the knight, knight to d5, and the early h4, Fabi is now ready to push h5 and start an attack against Tesla's king. And this was already tried in 2010 in World Blitz Championship. Hikaru Nakamura tried it against Vladimir Kramnik, but Kramnik was able to win that game. So Tesla replies with knight captures on c3, gets rid of one of the knights, b captures on c3, and now queen to d5. There is one game in the database where bishop to g4 was played, but it doesn't really help black all that much with the h5 issue, because even if you capture, white will gladly give up the rook here, and then maybe knight g5, go after the pawn with the queen, and the white will have an excellent game. So Tesla does not bother with the idea, with queen to d5, and now Fabi goes for h5, as h5 was not prevented, with bishop to g4 now, and now h captures on g6, with f captures on g6, opening up the f file for Tesla's rook, and Fabi defends the f3 square with bishop to e2, with knight to c6, and now rook to b1, just developing the rook to a nice semi-open file with an attack against the b7 pawn. And Tesla could play something like b6 here, rook a b8, but Tesla decides to capture on a2, with queen captures on a2, and now rook to b3. Fabi doesn't like the idea of snatching a pawn here, but rather rook to b3, preventing the queen from entering the game. And also now Fabi has some nasty ideas with bishop c4 check, maybe rook captures on h7, and a lot of things can happen here. So of course Tesla reacts to this with knight to a5, not only threatening to capture the rook here, but also keeping an eye on the c4 square, so bishop to c4 check is not possible. With knight to g5 by Caruana. And now, like we said, it's a bad idea to capture the rook. If you capture it, bishop c4 is just deadly, just deliver check. And now if king h8, rook captures on h7 is mate in 1, and if you don't capture, if you play e6, it's not better, queen captures on g4, and there's still a lot of problems here for you to face. So it would be a very quick death for black. Tesla of course not interested in that. Tesla captures on e2 with bishop captures, queen captures, and now not capturing, as it still doesn't work. Now the queen has access to the c4 squares, so it's the same idea. So queen to a1, threatening to capture the bishop on c1. Fabi replies with king to d1. Now the king defends the bishop, and here it's interesting, Tesla did not go for capture the first time. It didn't go for capture the second time, but now it does. Best here for black is rook f5, just threatening to capture here, because the bishop on c1 is pinned. And now even if you play something like rook to a3 to now win the knight here, it's not a problem. Queen b1, and now after white captures, you can capture on g5. White is still better, but the game continues. However, Tesla played knight captures on b3, and now I'm not even going to ask you to pause the video, because, well, you all see what's going to happen. So congratulations to everyone. I'm not even going to question whether all of you found queen to c4 check, as I know you did, because now, of course, king h8 leads to rook captures on h7 mate. So Tesla, of course, replied with e6, but it doesn't help. Queen captures on e6 with check, rook to f7, queen captures on f7 with check, and now the only thing left for black to do is play king to h8, and here Fabi just played rook captures on h7, and here it's a very nice checkmate in 21 moves. And if you think about it, this well, setup here kind of does remind you of the Tesla logo, well, at least me, so I think that's quite nice. But yeah, really an exciting game, and like I said, I don't know what engine Tesla runs, and I think I mentioned this on Twitter a few days ago. I thought it'd be really cool if it didn't run like a classical engine, but a clean neural network that you know, gets stronger by each game that it plays, and all of the Tesla cars should be communicating and making the neural network stronger. For example, Fabiano now drives a Tesla, Magnus Carlsen also drives a Tesla, so the neural network would become pretty strong if you know, they play with it a little bit. But you know, the more people bought a Tesla, you know, you would be not only saving the environment, but you would also make the car play better chess, which is just great, you know. Two of those things together are just awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much for this game. And now I would just like to mention the two announcements. So yeah, do check out Fabiano's video. Also, feel free to subscribe to his channel. And this also reminded me, if you also have a chess channel or maybe some other channel that you feel people should be aware of, or you know, that their vast knowledge could be increased by following it, I will put an email in the description below, so feel free to send me a link to this channel, and I will you know, go through all of them that you guys send me, and then I will make a review of all of the YouTube channels that you guys feel that people should be aware of, if maybe they are smaller channels. So that's the first part of the announcement. And the second part of the announcement, sorry about that, I just have to open my door. There's someone at the door, so I'll be right back. Sorry about that. And the second part of the announcement is that for those of you who are interested in how the manga is doing, the manga is slowly progressing, and for those of you who want to be a part of it from the beginning, I will put a link to my colleague's handle in the description below. It's a Twitter handle, so feel free to follow him, and you know, as of tomorrow he will be posting pretty much everything he does, not necessarily manga related, but whatever he draws, sketches, has any ideas. You're welcome to comment on it, you know, feel free to add on it, maybe you want to be a part of it in some way. So you know, I don't know, I'm just putting it out there. Feel free to join us. You know, maybe one day you can also be a part of the team, and we can create something special. Maybe we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the game. Caruana versus Car, a very nice victory for the former World Chess Championship challenger. I would like to thank Chris Schneider, Daniel Bond, Prakar Meinl, Michael Keane, and Jeremy Mintz for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check two of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing the Capablanca saga, of course, finally, and checking up on your suggestions as usual. Thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your weekend.